Imagine, if you will, sitting down to your morning coffee, turning on your home computer to read the day's newspaper. Well, it's not as fun.
Yo, it's your boy Zeta Don, and we back at it again with another episode of Inspired Empire Podcast. Today we have Motive, and today we got Kerry. They wanted to come on and talk pretty much, speak about, therapy, basically just have a conversation. Because you said mental health is what it was. That's what it was. What is mental health to you?
Mental health?
Yeah.
I mean, mental health is everything. Mental health is how a man, black man, is able to control his emotions. You know,
that's a strong one.
Just that way. You know, that is tough, man. Like my man had said a long time ago. Through our conversation, it's just hard to be black and happy. You know, and that can go over a lot of people's head. You know, for the stuff that we deal with on a daily. You know. Like they say, black man, who do you vent to?
Nobody.
Nobody. Yeah, so that's what mental health mean to me, man. It's a man who can control his emotions through situations.
Right. What about you, my man?
For me, it basically comes down to understanding, basically in a spiritual aspect as well as a mental aspect. Identification with oneself. And we have a lot of conversations about self-love and people not having enough of that in order to thrive. So, rounding it, bringing it all together is just basically, like I said, that understanding, the connection, and the ability to understand the power within. So that sums it up, and we're going to break that down and dive into it later on in this conversation.
Back on what you said, black man who you vent to, I think that's a powerful statement because, I mean, just in the black community, we not allowed to speak on anything. I mean, even if we have a question, we really not able to speak on it. You know, it's considered speaking back, like talking back or something to your parents or something. So that's really powerful. And I mean, if you think about your dad, he went to work every day and he never said nothing. He never complained. And if he did, he was by himself when he did it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a powerful statement. I feel like today, even for me, because now I have a kid and stuff, I deal with it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really vent. I just started going to therapy. I'm 26. So like that's years of just build up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, in your day-to-day life, how do you apply that?
Honestly, man, like Kevin said, man, geniuses, they talk to themselves. A lot of the times, man, as you know, even through sports, man, for us, we react to things differently, in situations. So the way to really come to this is, when you go through life, say you work and your boss is shitty, and you coming to work and you working hard, so you got to talk to yourself like, man, how I'm gonna deal with this? I gotta learn how to fix my attitude, come in different every day to see if it worked, and see how I can be able to, have a good day with a shitty boss, because most time people, when somebody talking bad to us or disrespect us, we gonna react.
Yeah, we ready. A set trip. We just ready. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
And so, at times, as you get older, you like, man, look, I don't even want to deal with that no more. So you learn how to just go about things and just zone them out. Just keep doing you and just try to, uplift others, around you, So, I mean, how I deal with it day by day, man, I just try to have a positive attitude. I just try to be more me, which is showing love every time. No matter how, people may have a bad day or something and they just try to, bleed on me. I just show love and keep it moving.
I feel you. What about you, Motive?
I live by this simple principle. If I have no input to that output, I won't stress about it. And that goes over a lot of people here every time I try to, share that with people. Basically, if there's nothing I can do to change that outcome, I look at it, okay, cool, wash my hands of it, move on, move forward, roll with the punches, keep my head up, and do what I can. Focus on the things that I do have the ability to control, because that's what matters at the end of the day.
Right.
So,
have y'all ever done therapy? Anybody?
I go now.
You go now.
I've been going to therapy 6 years now.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What has it done for you?
Wonders.
Yeah, it done a lot, man. I have a temper problem.
Same.
I really have a temper problem. Honestly, man, how I met my therapist was unique. I'm definitely gonna go with that, man. I was actually gonna beat up my therapist. Yeah, in the basketball, we was playing pickup ball, and I was going through a dark time. This is where I found out about my daughter's situation, and some dude just said something wrong to me. He was like, shut up. Simple, like he was like, shut up. I was like, yo, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? Like, tell him man to shut up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just got to wilding, and my therapist grabbed me like, yo, wake up. You in a dark place. I'm like, man, you gonna get the hell out of my face, old man. And long story short, man, he like, hey, man, I'm a retired therapist. He a brother too. And he like, man, just come to my office. Come to my office, and let's just talk. So, man, 7 years later, man, it's been a blessing. Honestly, man, he been my therapist, my mentor. He been married for like 40 years. So, he opened my eyes to learning how to be in a relationship, a healthy relationship. We have egos.
All of us.
Yeah. So
It don't matter what race. It don't matter what gender. We all do.
Yeah. So it honestly, man, it done a lot for me, man. It made me more of a thinker. Because even when I do be wilding, I do be like, damn, bro, I hate being like this. I hate
being aggressive.
Yeah, and just you look around and, being in Utah, not everybody used to that. Not everybody used to, brothers being so aggressive. Because that's our environment in Vegas. That's normal to be aggressive. So when you be too aggressive, you look around, people looking at you like
what the hell?
The hell, he violent,
He different. He's not the typical black guy around
here. Yeah,
That's wild, bro.
Yeah.
As far as like your therapist though, like what are the things he's told you about? Because mindsets also do go with relationships. What are the things that he told you about relationships?
Oh man, a lot. We touched on a lot, man. See, with me, I always been a good dude, but being in this environment like Utah, man. See, we see things. So our love is off like survival. So we're gonna tap into that. So speaking on survival, man, is that we feel different, and our love is action, So what he taught me through the time is being able to stay consistent, be able to learn how to love with words of affirmation, is what they call it these days, and being able to get better at that and be able to for you to become better at love.
Right. That's wild. What about you? What do you think mindset has to do with relationships?
Mindset with relationships, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I am not the best one for that conversation. It's my way, no way, or highway. You feel me?
Okay.
And that's me being real. I'm just not in a place right now to be focusing on that because I don't have no intentions at this point in my life to build family. And for me, that's the only goal of a relationship, to constantly progress and take those steps. And we can go into politics and everything else outside of that, of which is why I believe it's a scary process as well. But as far as that's just something that I don't thoroughly focus on. I live and I learn through my experiences. I will not really have too much of conversations about that at this point in my life. Like I said, 'cause it's not a focus or a goal of mine. But I do try to. I look at it like this, and I break it down to those the women I do get involved with. This is a learning point. We put in each other's lives for a reason, to grow in this temporary time that we have, and be better for whoever we ultimately meant to be with. If it's us, then cool. If it's not, then cool too. It wasn't time wasted. And that's just kind of how I look at everything right now.
That's smart. Because, a lot of people will get in relationships and make a mistake of, having a kid before they're married, or if they really want to be with each other, So I think that's smart. Back to what you said about the survival thing, I relate with that because, for me, I had an uncle pretty much when I was I think I was 8. Swore up and down he loved me, but he was on drugs. Don't get me wrong. He stole my PlayStation, but he loved me. So that's my first. Instant. He said he loved me all the time. How can you love somebody and do that to somebody? So after that, it was just I don't care if you tell me you love me, you're gonna have to show me, so I relate with that a lot. Now as far as just us being black and trying to keep us happy, I relate with that too, because like you said, I have anger issues. Like I mean, shit, it don't matter who you are. If you say something wrong to me, in my head, it's just like, okay, process it, try to process it. I'm not processing it. I'm about to just start kicking the shit. Yeah. I still struggle with it because, like, for me, I'm just emotional. I'm very, like, I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Me too.
So, like, you just going to see my emotions. It don't matter if you tell me to calm down, I'm going to calm down, but you're going to see it on my face. You're going to see it in my, like, just the way I am. So that's why I struggle with labor. I was just telling him that I struggle. I can't do labor jobs because I don't like the way people talk to me. I want to be respected just from the gate, Sometimes you do got to earn it, but, hey, that's just how it goes. In everyday life, like, what are you guys, how do I put this? What are you guys dealing with at the moment to where you feel like that you have to sit back and process things? That's a good question. That's a good question. I told you, I was like, we're going to kick the shit. I'm like, we're going to get to it.
Man, look, life in general, right? One of the biggest problems we've been facing is, people being real, people being solid, people standing, by the foundations of what the relationships was built upon, on the principles. And, we got our issues every now and again with our women that give us headaches, but I mean, that's not nothing that kind of runs our domain. It's just something that we deal with along the way. But the biggest problems have been, I seen this, man. He's one of the first people I knew since I've been here. I seen how he been with people. He genuine through and through, thorough too. Definitely solid, definitely upfront, definitely honest, and definitely a better friend of most than they are to him. And so we put out in this world what we expect. We're not. I say don't live by expectations, but we put out in this world what we would like to receive back. Right. So if we standing off these foundations, these principles, love and respect, the problem that we've been facing the most is not receiving that in return. And basically being here in Utah, the environment, the energy is completely different. We like to say it's weird, by our definition, because it's a lot of weird energy.
Yeah.
And we gonna leave that how it is. Kind of summarize that, because I'm pretty sure, too, like I said, we gonna definitely be able to run off of that.
We relate though.
Yeah.
But how I was saying, man, and like we was talking about, my mentor and stuff, how I met him, right? So how I go about it day to day is how to handle situations differently. You know what I'm saying? And that was the main. A big thing at the beginning of my therapy session is how to go about things different. One of the things I mentioned to some of my guys is how to compete different and still how to fire. Because how I compete, we talk a lot of, you know what I mean, and people talking. So the true code of the circle of life is honor, love, and respect. And when you demanding your respect, y'all gonna go at it, and that's just going at it at a sports aspect to earn your respect, But for a day to day, it is how to handle situations better, So it's becoming more of a thinker. So when you're dealing with say conflict with somebody, now you got to be able to handle it differently instead of reacting the way we normally react to a situation.
See, that's funny because for me, like when you talk about sports, I normally, if somebody talking to me, I'm going to play. I mean, you've seen it. I'm going to play. And somebody start wolfing. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to let it go. He come back. All right, cool. I'm going to let it go. And then at third time, I'm like, all right, I'm about to just start letting them have it. Especially if I start getting what I need, like when I'm getting the yards or whatever, scoring the bucks, oh, it's on now. Yeah. So, and that's how I feel just in everyday life. Like, I'm going to let that shit go until it's a breaking point. And I feel like that's where I lose my control because there's so many emotions built up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, fuck it. Like, I'm already here now. So might as well just finish it. Like, that's when I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Because you even see me in the club. like this dude has stepped on me like 10 times. I already told him like back up, step on me again. I'm like, all right, push him. K had to grab somebody. He's like, hey man, calm down. It's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you demand your respect because we talk about weird energies. Everybody in Utah, especially black people, everybody's an alpha, right? Well, or they feel like
Must
they
say
alphas.
everybody alpha, but everybody ain't
Yeah.
alpha.
You
Yeah,
don't
Understand
understand what alpha really means.
Exactly.
Man.
When you go to the club, everybody is an alpha. You know what I'm saying? Or they portray themselves as an alpha, and that's just how we can get sometimes. You know, as far as life, because we did talk about kids, man. I'm gonna go in with you about this. How do you feel like this aspect has to go with kids?
For me, you know, me having a daughter, it's you know, it's different, man, because you know we deal with women all the time, and then when you get a daughter, now you just look at things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter is so like outspoken, you know, so you know now you know I get into a different realm. Now I gotta talk to her different, as if I would talk to like my brother's son. You know, it's tough love with him, but with her, it's like I gotta be a little soft. You know, so I gotta use more words with her to get her to maybe calm down, or you know whatever she going through, to get her to understand. You know, why this situation is the way it is. So you know you learn. So you basically you know you get to a point in life to where you know a kid can make you better. You know, in a lot of ways. So, you know, to ways you never thought that you know you like, dang, like, I didn't know I was smooth like that. You know, she was crying, and I gotta have her back. Like, it make you more creative. And how to handle situations with kids. Especially little daughters, little girls. So that's what I learned the most, man. It's especially me finding out about my daughter at 3 going on 4. So I missed a lot, and now coming in her life, understanding how she feel and the things she been through. I gotta kind of be able to make up time and to still be able to teach her, how to handle situations, for what I've learned and grew to become, So.
Cause like, are you emotional at all? Like you ain't really been on like able to express yourself like that all the time, have you?
Well, I've been so with me, man. When people talk alphas, alphas, when people got to understand the dynamic of a man is emotion. You know what I mean? So with them, I make it always to a point to tell people, even you, I tell y'all how I feel.
Yeah.
I tell people how I feel because the reason why I'm talking about mental health, it goes all the way around with kids, your friends. You try to give love to everybody around you. Even your kids. Like, I let my daughter know how I feel. Let her know I love her. You look good today. I like the outfit. Or I think you should try these. Just always just try to, just give her, empathy about everything she do. And that's always been me. I just I always express my emotions. Even when I play, I express my emotions.
Yeah, cause I was gonna ask, cause I don't have a daughter. I got a son, so like he's like 8 months, so he can't really understand too much. He can't talk, but I mean, I've never been much of a like a cuddler or nothing. But ever since I've had him, I'm like, oh, come here, give me a hug. I love you. I've never been on that, so like I just had to ask because for me, that was hard for me to do. Even in a relationship, I'm like, man, I can't. You know what I'm saying? I don't like to touch. Don't hug me. Don't cuddle me when I go to sleep. I don't want to tell you I love you every day. Like, that you don't really need that. You know what I'm saying? I never understood it until I had a kid. So that's why I asked you that question.
Honestly, man, I got a story about that, man. 'Cause I was like that too.
Right.
And when like, I ain't like when dudes get on me. Especially coming from a boxer family. 'Cause, that's when you get about a hot a two-piece biscuit. Yeah. So one day, man, I was always good in school, even though I was doing my thing. So I was always real good at everything in school, when it comes to in class. So one day, man, I had got a bad grade, and I went home, and I was just tripping. And my uncle was just like, man, you need to calm down, And my uncle's like, you know what? You need a hug. And I like, nah, don't touch me. Nah, don't touch me. And that's a long story short. But he like, yo, you need a hug. You really just give me a hug. So he just gave me a hug, and it felt good. So ever since then, he been like that. He always been like, hey, man, every day say good morning and give me a hug every morning. So every morning, we'll do that every morning. That's how, like, it started with me to being able to be like that with my friends, bro. Hey, bro, show love, you know, because I was telling you, man, mental health, bro, you never know what people are going through. Look at all the people we lost, you know, and what if somebody who's close to them would have just said, hey,
Just call me.
hey, man, I appreciate you and I love you, man. You know, could have changed everything.
I feel it.
Real talk.
Have you ever been like big on emotions or anything like that?
I was bigger on it when I was younger, and I didn't get to chime in on the whole, what I feel about therapy earlier. But therapists didn't work for me. I went more the social worker route, and then what we call landmark classes. And they basically sat me down in a room. I was stuck for days, and they made me ask myself questions instead of try to directly impose a will on me. And basically what I ended up learning from all of that is that it's okay. You know, I did struggle with it a bit earlier. I was closed off. I was very closed off. And I was still slightly closed off a little bit. And I would say he had a big part in playing with me opening up and expressing a lot more because, you know, I was a little bit vindictive, you know.
Yeah.
I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to hit you where it hurt, though.
That's
you know
how
what I'm saying? I ain't going to talk. I'm going to show you, just like how y'all was talking about competing earlier. You know, my take on it is, all right, I'm going to let you talk, but I'm going to hit you with something every time I come back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I come back down. And then once I hit you so many times, I see your ego going down. Now I'm going to start talking. I'm going to say, what's up with that energy? So for me, expression is very, very important. We all have emotions. The biggest thing is compartmentalizing and managing them, you know. And I've learned to become very expressive, not only for myself, but for others. And that's also with speaking and verbally expressing that as well, because not only do you provide more value to others by doing so, but you also get a lot more back in return. And then you start to find out now you're becoming more authentically yourself, and you're able to identify what works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you're comfortable with, what you're not comfortable with. And then you really find out what your strengths are in your forms of communication, because, you know, emotions play a big part in a lot of that.
Yeah.
And the better you are at expressing those and explaining them and breaking them down, the more effective you are at communicating, and you know, that builds better relationships in itself.
Makes sense. Because, like, I mean, the biggest misunderstanding is communication. Because if you don't communicate the right way, the slightest thing can happen and it just screw up everything. Relationships, friendships, everything like that. If you don't, and that's where egos come into play too. If you don't want to communicate, because I've learned since I've started going to therapy, I will tell you how I feel now. Like, and people don't like it. People don't like when you express yourself. Like, they hate that shit. And now I know how other people feel, because I was like, man, I hate this shit. I don't like you telling me. Now I'm doing it. I see other people get the same reaction I used to, and I'm like, okay, I can understand now. You know what I'm saying? One thing I did want to, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just want to let you know that, you know, that's powerful though.
Yeah.
You know, it's not something everybody can do. You know, especially as men, we walk around, we show to the world.
Accountability.
We come home and don't say nothing most of the time, right?
Yeah.
And that's a superpower right there. You know, not only do it make you stand out, you know, but you like I said, you get your point across. It makes you a leader at that point. And so basically, that's the journey.
Yeah, because I mean, through my situation, I'm starting to express myself more, because I mean, I'm sure y'all know I'm going through. I split with my baby mama, so now I express myself on certain feelings I feel with her, and I'm starting to see, like, she gets irritated, like, I don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that is kind of what you have to do to get your point across, like what you just said. Because if you don't, if you sit in the shadows and just let stuff slide by, then it's just, there's no boundaries on either side if you both keep doing that. So we talking about emotions, mindsets. One thing that goes with therapy and all that stuff is numbing. So, like, how did you deal with your anger or anything like that? Was there any alcohol involved, like marijuana, anything like that?
No, not at all. So my upbringing, I never got into. So, you know, I came up in that environment. You know what I mean? So I was blessed, and the reason why I say that is because I never got into that. I had anger just off like you know, the way I was raised, you know, the abuse, you know what I'm saying, and violent, you know, just violence. So that's my reaction to a lot of stuff is just violent, you know. All I know is to fight, you know what I mean? So, you know, even growing up in my home, my mom used to beat us. My dad was the smooth dude, you know. He's somebody I looked up to mentally because how he handled situations, he always talked everything out. You know, so as I gotten older, I appreciate that a lot. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to how I handle that, and you know, nowadays it's just being able to talk things out with people. You know, more now than what it was before.
Feel you.
You know,
What about you, Motive?
So we talking about substance, right?
Yeah, substance.
Well, I don't really have an addicting personality. I was always able to quit something cold turkey. I challenge myself a lot just to say if I feel like I'm doing too much of something to cut myself off and just give myself a break. But I will dive into that briefly because there was a point in time where I did kind of slightly go down that phase. I lost my brother when I first moved here a month in. Cancer, passed away, young, little brother on top of that, best friend. And it was one of the hardest things I ever endured. And I've been through, you know what I'm saying, some things. You feel me? South side of Chicago, my whole life was a survival. My whole life was a fight. But there was that brief phase where I was just drinking a lot. And even with that, I was kind of able to work myself out of it. And I wasn't like getting drunk. It was like I was just maintaining that buzz. Because, you know, emotionally, I was just already numb. So that's as much experience as I have with that. When I did end up having that brief moment in my life where I was, you know, smoking weed or whatever, I was the happiest I've ever been. And it was just something that was added on. I was in college. It was like a 2-year thing. And then coming here, I found myself, I gave that up, you know, commercial license, whatnot. Nothing comes over the money. And I started drinking a little bit more, and it's always in a freer setting. You know, I just do it for enjoyment, to have fun. I don't really find myself doing it in emotional, traumatic states. So I think the only thing I would say that I have been addicted to is kind of meditating. Instead of using substances, I found that being something I consistently always go back to. At one point, it was like working out or whatever. Don't have much time for that no more, and I grew up meditating since I was young, and it's actually a lot more. It definitely helps you process a lot more. It provides that numbing state a lot more, and allows you to think a lot clearer through whatever the situations are. So
I'm glad you mentioned meditation.
Yeah, that's a big one. A lot
Yeah,
of people don't
meditation.
do that. They don't know about it either.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Meditation. Man, I don't see how people drink alcohol anyway. Man,
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
y'all
sense.
gotta drink wine.
That champagne, that
Wine.
Wine
yes,
get
that
you in
grown
trouble.
folks
That's
drink.
how you have kids.
Well, you know what though?
Yeah, that's how
It was that
calm you
cognac
down.
for me.
You ready now? You no.
Wine with some chicken wings is
Oh,
good. I'm trying to tell you, I'm putting y'all on game.
I'm gonna try it.
Absolutely.
I'ma try it. Once I start drinking again,
Absolutely.
I'm cleaning
Nice some
myself.
chicken wings, nice little, you know, barbecue chicken. You know, you can do the spicy.
I was gonna say I gotta
You
do
can the honey.
spicy.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try that out.
you'll be all right.
I'm gonna try that out. Yeah, I'm 3 weeks free of alcohol right now. I still smoke. Don't get me wrong. I don't think I'll ever stop doing that. I'm a smoke. I got to. But as far as alcohol, I would drink and I get aggressive. Just kind of like that's just me. Especially when I'm in a club and everybody's putting on this persona of an alpha. That makes me more like, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to pop off whenever like anything goes off. Especially if I've been working all week. My boss is an asshole, like we were just saying, and I'm not making enough money, or I feel like I'm not doing enough in life. I go to the club, I'm drinking, and I got all these people putting on this persona. Of course, I'm gonna act out. So, but meditation, that right there is a big thing for me because I started doing that by myself. Like nobody told me to do it. I never learned about it. I kind of would sit and not even like I wasn't thinking. I was just breathing. You know what I'm saying? Because I had a big problem of. I wouldn't say it was anxiety, but I would hold my breath. Like when I talk, I would hold my breath, and I never noticed it was anxiety until somebody pinpointed it out to me. But that right there kind of helped me with a lot of things. I still was kind of violent in a way, but like that just saved me with stuff like as far as just a mental headspace to like go to work every day, or like, you know what I'm saying, I know I'm struggling with this, but if I just breathe and get through it, you know what I'm saying, I'll wake up for the next day. This is all right. I'll get past it. You know what I'm saying? So that's really big. With meditation, did you just learn that through therapy or like?
No, I was actually blessed enough to go to this very unique school that just so happened to end up right in the middle of the hood that was experimenting with us. And that was one of the things we did before every class period. Actually, before that, I was introduced to it with my AAU teams. When I was playing ball, one of my coaches introduced it to me when I was like 7th grade. And started there, took off in high school, and then I just created and researched and just found all different type of experiences in my spiritual journey during college. So yeah, it just constantly kept progressing the older I got, and now, you know, I can meditate all different ways. This literally, like you said, anxiety. I did have a big anxiety problem. I just used to get so frustrated, so angry. I just grew up so angry. And so when I find myself getting outside of what I normally am, I really just always start doing those breathing exercises first. And if it's severe and it gets really bad, close my eyes for like 5 to 10, 15 minutes until all of that's managed. And then I address the problem. So.
I got you. Okay. Because for me, that's one thing I'm still struggling with, how to address it. Because sometimes I can get real mad about the situation, and I want to address it right then and there, but I'm not thinking. I don't understand. I'm not thinking, and I might just blurt off and say the wrong thing, which I need to do better at. So I feel like I actually need to resort back to meditation, because I have stopped doing that since I've been going to therapy, and it's just more of I'm trying to figure myself out still. You know what I'm saying? So like, I got to get back to resorting to, instead of trying to drink or smoke or anything like that, I need to get better at processing stuff. You know what I'm saying? One thing I did want to talk to you about, because you grew up in Vegas.
Yes.
And you grew up in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in Kansas City, in Missouri. So, like, we all grow up angry, grow up in, like, violent environments. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you had anxiety. I had anxiety. I didn't even know I had it until I got older. Did you have any like problems, like, because I know you said you were very angry, right? You just more violent.
Yeah.
When y'all were growing up, how did y'all handle that? That's a big like how did y'all handle it?
Like anxiety?
Just in general, how did you handle just growing up in those environments and like trying to deal with their emotions? How did you handle those when you were a kid?
Out.
Yeah, you lashed out.
Well, so you know, in Vegas, man, Vegas is a lot different. Chicago and Kansas City, you know, the respect is different. See what I'm saying? Vegas is it's a city of hustling.
Yeah, they get money.
Yeah, you know, and I want to explain it like that, and I don't want to never talk down on those cities, because you know everybody getting money. You know, everybody getting money. But Vegas is that. That's what Vegas is. What it's known for. This money. So much money in Vegas. People got 100 ways to get money. So in Vegas, man, the respect in Vegas is, you know, is hard work in another way, and how we deal with a lot of stuff. And I'm getting more into the respect factor in Vegas, and you know, how to deal with all the anger. A lot of the times, man, you know, you try to hustle to shine more than the next dude, you know, to get your respect. You know, even being on a block, and we can all relate. You know, you want people to respect you. So what you do, you know,
Lash out.
Exactly. So you know, I mean, you gotta stand your ground. So this is why I say, for you know, for us living in Utah versus, you know, in our environment, like, you know, Kansas City, Chicago, and Vegas, is that, I mean, and you could say anywhere too, but majority of it is, you know, being able to get your respect. You know, and I never been too much of the where I go start fights, but you got people that'll try you. You know, and you got to stand yours. You got to let them know, because if you don't,
Everybody gonna try you.
Everybody gonna try you. So it's the same thing everywhere, and that's the best way, or somebody else can say it, to where they can explain something of how you handle and get respect in your environment, and that's how you get your respect. You know, you got to stand your ground. You know, and it's gonna lead into lashing out, because when people try you, you know, you have to move some furniture. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
Yeah. You know? So,
What about you, Motive? In Chicago, like, what did you do? I know you lashed out, but like, what
Chicago
else?
crazy.
It's definitely different, and it's just one of the biggest things I do respect about Vegas, the way they move. It exposes, the real from the fakes by their structure. And Chicago's no man's land. The best way you dealt with things is to get a jump on them. Let's you with them. And then you always in a situation where you don't expect, you just don't know what to expect. You can't predict anything as far as territories, who's jumping out, who's coming to get you, how somebody took it. We didn't have a foundation where we can fight things out and issue resolve. Nah, you fought. It's retaliation for that. Just because somebody's pride on the line. And I grew up a fighter.
Yeah.
That's all I did. I saw my situations with fighting that did cause a lot of problems later on, especially as I got older. So the best way I could say I dealt with it is that I really didn't. Looking back on it now, what I can say is I didn't really handle the problem. I didn't deal with it at all. I just kind of just responded. Survival instinct took over. It was a lot of moments I actually blacked out and can't really recall incidents because, like I said, I just grew up so angry. So if that switch was activated, it's nothing but red. I'm a completely different person. Didn't recall what happened afterwards, and that was one of the biggest things that did push me in changing and in challenging myself because I didn't like it. And then some of the wisest people actually later in my life kind of sat me down and let me know between the difference between warriors and those of noble status. Nothing's ever done out of frustration, out of emotion. It's calculated and it's thorough. And I respected that more. So kind of the gist of it right there.
Yeah, because for me, I was more smaller than all the kids. Like, I'm short, so like I would get picked on more than anybody. So I would always have to fight. And I mean, I was fighting some big ass kids. I mean, I was small, so it turned into, from me getting picked on to me being like, as soon as you said something, I'm hauling off because you might get the jump on me. You know what I'm saying? And then in Kansas City, that started at a young age. And in Kansas City, you fight there. If they don't win, they coming back to shoot you. That's just basically what it is. It's pretty much no man's land there too. They get money, but it's more slow. But they more about killing. They don't care. They want to be like have the upper hand. And if they can't beat you, they definitely gonna come back to shoot you. Or if they see you later, they gonna get you later. And they'll let you know too. Like, we'll see you. So for me, that's why I moved here. And this is what I'm about to ask y'all. This is the last thing we're gonna talk about. How did y'all, because we are all black in Utah, right? How did y'all handle coming from this city to Utah? Because out here we are unique, right? That goes to everybody's head, because I know it went to my head. I was like, oh, we unique out here. Like, this, people love us. So I had fed into the attention. I was fighting, still doing all this stuff. How did y'all handle coming here and trying to be different? Because obviously you didn't do it first thing, right? But how did you handle being in Utah as a black man?
The man himself. Go ahead.
All right.
Take the lead, Lord.
Honestly, I was kind of prepped. I spent 3 years in Iowa, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City. And it's you think there's nothing to do here? Try being in the middle of farmlands, in these really small cities, and all you have is a drink, do drugs, party, and then go to school, and then do whatever else you do in your spare time. So for me, this was an easy transition. I actually explain it to people because I get this question every day. Why here? I say, and honestly, the best response for me is this heaven on earth for me. This is as close as I'm gonna get, as far as like other places outside of this country. But we ain't gonna dive into that. I mean, going from a place where there's no opportunities whatsoever from a business aspect, from a knowledge aspect, to going to a place where basically you can create anything possible. I mean, the transition was smooth. I don't care about the weird shit I gotta put up. Weird stuff I gotta put up with. You know what I'm saying? Coming here, I don't care about the questions. I don't care about the change of scenery, of environments, or basically being the one to completely stand out. I already like that anyway. You know, in my entire life, I'm gonna be the one that's gonna stand out. You tell me to go left, I'm going right. Everybody following a trend, I'm gonna do something completely different and find a way to make it my own. That's just been my mentality for the get-go. So this basically provides everything that my life ever incorporated in one. Just mine is being around more of my culture more. I mean, but like I said, you know, a mental opportunity. Yeah, I can't bring nothing back to my people. I can't help anybody else if I can't help myself first. And this place provides me the opportunity, the platform and the resources to do so. So that transition was a no-brainer. You know, I mean, and attention a plus. You know, you get a whole lot of it out here. Absolutely. I'm getting an earful of it last night. I mean, but it is what it is. There's just a bonus added on to it, you know. But hey,
I feel it.
I love it.
I feel it. I feel it. What about you, Kay?
I never looked at it like that. I mean, coming from Vegas, man, and, you know, living in Cali for a year, playing ball out there, coming here, I never looked at it like that, man. I just felt like the culture was different, you know. To go on that, man, it felt so good going back home. What was it, a couple weeks ago? And the reason why I'm saying this, though, man, because it felt, you know, I get inspired by other people. And this going to go into the question how I feel about coming to Utah. It just felt good to see all these brothers pulling up in these nice-ass cars. Man, it felt good, bro. You know, everywhere I'm looking at, brothers pulling up in something nice, you know. I'm like, damn, I feel great. You know what I mean? Like I'm at home. You know, people saying what's up. You know, that actually was good, you know, with that energy, you know. And it's just that coming to Utah, man, it's like coming to get out.
Yeah, it can't be that way.
Yo, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's how I feel when I came to Utah. I get, you know, most people say that we unique. That's cool. But, you know, for us who raised in the culture, you know, when you come somewhere, you know, you have that same energy. You know, I see a brother in the store. I'm like, yo, what's good? How you doing? Or I'll be like, hey, what's up, brother? They'll look at me like,
like, who you? What you up?
Yeah.
you know, so I'll be like, damn, you know, all right, you know, I thought, you know, what's up? You know, because I done been at Walmart 100 times, and bruh, you know, I done seen 2 black people in the last 2 months. So I see a black person like, yo, what's up? You know,
Right.
and they look at you like, right?
See, that's a different experience for me because, like, in Kansas City, you can't say what's up to people. They be like, where you from? Like, what block you from? So you can't really do that, or they not even gonna think about you because it's black people there all day. So when I came here, and it was like, shit, we damn near be hugging. Shit, my baby mama think I know every black person. I basically do.
I mean,
Right.
that's how it is.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, hey
Right.
man, what's up? We
Right.
dapping each other up. You
Right.
think we known each other our whole lives? Even if they look at me funny, I don't care. Like, hey man, I'm glad to see you. And that's the one thing I do appreciate about being in Utah. I appreciate black people more because I just went home 2 weeks ago and it was like nobody better than I had me. Because over there, you kind of you don't want to be seen. They over there shooting. They like, shit, I don't know you. You don't know me. Leave me alone. Here, it's more different. I could be out and about. I could go to the store. I could walk. Over there, I couldn't go around the corner. I'm like, no, you don't want to go around the corner, dog. That's the op territory. You don't go over there. But like here, I got to be a kid. I got to grow up. You know what I'm saying? I got to like really enjoy life. You know what I'm saying? Out there, I love my family. I love my people. But they be tripping. Here, yeah, we unique. You know what I'm saying? People do love us. The women love us. I never really looked at it like, oh, this is weird. But some people do move weird. I ain't gonna lie. They move weird here. But if you just do your own thing, nobody
Man,
nobody
that's
bother
a
you.
whole other topic. Lord.
Bruh, they be moving weird here, bro.
Lord.
Even the black people. It don't even matter who it is. I feel like that's just in general.
Yeah.
So what we about to do is gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
What's something that you want to leave the people with before we wrap this podcast up?
One thing I'm gonna leave with the people, man, is man, live in love. Live in love, man. The whole point of this whole podcast today was just to really start a trend, man, just to give people a topic just to talk about, man, just to have a platform to talk about their stories, what they've been through, and maybe somebody out there that's going through the same thing. And for us, man, one thing that I learned, man, is just is the love on other people, man. It's cool, and just live by the code of honor, love, and respect. You can't never go wrong. It's the circle of life, man. It's up and down. The moon and the sun, man. Live and love. That's it.
Hey, respect.
Yeah.
Respect. What about you, Motive?
Okay. One, get comfortable being uncomfortable. The more you practice that, the more you dive into that, everything else is just easier. 2, life a video game, level up. You know what I'm saying? Every time I try to break down these conversations to people, I say, well, you just got to start looking at life like a video game. You know what I'm saying? Each level, you equip for the next. You sharpen your skill set, your tools. You know what I'm saying? Your abilities. You move on to the next level. Yeah, it get harder, but you bossed up. Get to the top till you finish. Then 2, like I said earlier, don't focus on things that you don't have no input. You can't, if you have no physical input to that outcome, you don't have no verbal input to that outcome, there's nothing you can do to change that. Don't stress about it. Don't even let it phase you. Yeah, you
Control
get frustrated,
what you can control.
but you got to ask yourself those questions. How does this affect my life? You know what I'm saying? Do it stop me from moving? Or stop me from getting this money? Do it stop me from being? Did it hinder me in any type of way? So you got to sit back and ask yourself certain questions. How did this really affect me? Okay, you just got me in my feelings for a second. All right, cool. You shrug that off. And 4, I'm sorry, that was 3 right there. 4, basically acknowledge the differences. The biggest conflict that we have is miscommunication and expectations. Everybody want to be understood, and everybody can't understand. Everybody want to be something they're not. We receive information differently, and that's just what it is. What I've come to try to really thrive myself on in practice, and what I found to basically eliminate a lot of stress in my life, is just acknowledging the difference of whoever's sitting across from me and accepting that and just having that mutual love and respect off of that. And we won't understand each other. We will not see eye to eye, but that's gonna make us better. We're gonna take something. We're gonna run off each other. We're gonna take something from this, shake hands afterwards, and we go back to our lives. We do what we do, as long as his or her, whatever they got going on, as long as whatever they got going on don't affect my life, as whatever going on I got going on don't affect theirs, and we leave it at that. And then they an adult and accept the consequences for their actions, just like I have to accept the consequences for my actions. Then what do I got to say about that? Nothing. So just practice those 4 things, just keep that in the back of your head.
Hey, that's dope. So I appreciate y'all coming through, man. To spend knowledge. You know what I'm saying? I respect both of y'all. I relate to y'all a lot now, especially you too. It's my first time meeting you, so I feel like I know a lot about you now. Like, we can all chop it up. When I come back next season, I do want to have y'all on for group discussions, because I'm gonna revamp it. So I definitely gotta have you on, man. All right, that's all we got for this episode. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Church.